Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Quarbit, and I'll be your host today for Europa Universalis 4. Welcome back to the 16th part of our Identity Crisis campaign, where last episode we played as Switzerland and France, working an economic miracle over here, and expanding Switzerland to incorporate a couple of the Austrian territories. If at this point somehow you're still new around here, then I recommend going back and watching a couple of the older ones, but there are still 4 episodes left in this series, so you don't have to finish the whole thing up. Or if you've been following along so far and you enjoyed the series, then of course subscribing would be an absolutely massive help, and leaving a like would be hugely appreciated. With that out of the way, let's see which nation we get next. And we get Britain. Oh dear lord. So once again, we get to play as the bad guys. This is gonna be interesting. We're the #1 great power, so we get to do pretty much whatever we want to. I'm gonna try my best to make this interesting. Now, all of the colonies are loyal, which we're gonna make sure it stays that way from now on, I guess. We also have 89,000 ducats in the treasury right now. Alright, let's first start off by managing the income. So far, the AI has done a pretty decent job of assigning all of the merchants to the right places. However, I really hate how many mercs that Britain has hired because that's a little bit cancer. These mercenaries can't even be moved, so I'm not really sure what to do with those. Well, this guy can protect trade in the Ivory Coast. We have a couple of random things to core up. And we're also majorly ahead on Diplo, but we're going to be grabbing admin and military soon. Our ideas are pretty okay. I don't think we need exploration anymore. I think we're going to swap that off for something different. I think exploration can be swapped out for probably quality at this point. I'm going to focus on finishing up our quantity, I think, and admin actually. Okay, let's unpause. Just gonna group up all the non-mercenaries together. These light ships are gonna be sent out to protect trade in the English Channel after being upgraded. I think I'll just upgrade all the ships actually. So literally, this 15,000 stack here is everything that we have on the main island which isn't a mercenary. Okay, well, we can't exactly afford this many mercenaries, but I'm pretty sure we don't need this 49k here. Or really this one either. And with our money, of course, we're going to be building buildings because the AI doesn't like to build buildings for some reason. I find that to be really weird, but they just sort of do that, yeah. Okay, now I've doubled my influence in the Ivory Coast, so we direct 40 ducats towards the English Channel now. We also have max mercantilism because, you know, Britain. And a couple of extra Diplo points, so I'm probably going to sink those into some dev. So we just boosted the economy by like 20 ducats a month or something, and we'll get a free stab. Okay, we're gonna finish up this quantity idea, which will allow us immediately start off by getting the goods produced modifier. So our income is gonna go to 643 ducats a month. Oh man. Now, I did promise that I was gonna make this interesting. So let's do that. We're gonna do this in a really simple way. So I'm gonna send these guys over to Malta. I'm gonna declare imperialism on the Knights. That's gonna bring Lithuania in because they're the defender of the Catholic faith. Once I win this war, Lithuania will no longer be the defender of the Catholic faith. You'll see where we go from there. It's also time for a new debate. Let's get rid of the Rotten Borough. And there is nothing Malta can do to survive. We're just going to keep going ahead on this admin. Okay, we've taken over Malta now. The only thing to do at this point is to sit here and wait until Lithuania gives up. Or rather, that's what we would do, except Lithuania is allied to Spain. So I have a couple of different things in mind here. I'm also utterly confused as to why we even have these guys here. Like who's threatening to invade Greenland? Who cares? I'm just going to bring these guys back home together, I think. And on top of that, we're just going to add global naval engagement. Now, as promised, it's time to make this a little more interesting. Okay, that first landing isn't really going so well, is it? Let's land somewhere a little further away then, because those guys are gone. Yep, that stack is dead. Well, unless he somehow manages to get away. Okay, never mind, I figured out the better idea. These guys are dead, but I learned something new along the way. it was worth. Okay, I'm gonna invade Ceuta. That's gonna be a much better idea. And now with Ceuta taken, they can't cross back over here, so I'm gonna stockpile all the men over here, and then we'll go up through the south. Alright, I'll leave 58 heavies here, hopefully that'll be enough. And the rest of these ships are gonna go up into here. Wow, that was a quick siege of Tangiers there. And these guys will move down here as well. Okay, I'm just gonna take out this Spanish fleet while we're here. And take this next tech. And finish up this idea group, which will give us an extra 20% trade efficiency. And I'm going to start sending these men up into the war zone. And of course I'm just going to barrage this because I can. Now Spain is on the move, so to counteract that, I'm going to be ordering an assault immediately. Spain seems pretty keen on attacking us though. It's pretty bad because that is a mountains fort, so we're going to keep the men coming. Alright, so far so good. We just have to make sure we reinforce at the right time. Oh, and the Industrial Revolution has spawned in, well, Derby apparently. So let's get a couple of free points, a little bit of free prestige, and some government progress. Okay, and just by the skin of our teeth, we managed to survive the Spanish assault. On top of that, we can finish our assault as well. Oh, that was a little bit stressful, I have to admit. But we managed to break through, and that's all that matters right now. Oh, well, that isn't good. We have another fight here, actually. This time we don't have the morale to fight it off, nor the rolls, apparently. Okay, we need to reinforce these guys. Surely there's no problem a little bit of money and manpower can't fix, though. Just have to wait for these guys to reinforce, and then we can figure something out. Okay, one of the big problems has been Spain's 1 extra morale on us, but I've gone ahead and grabbed an extra 5% discipline there. I'm going to test the waters a little bit to see if I can land some men over here. If this stack moves over, then I can go in through Gibraltar. If that stack doesn't move over, that'll just be awkward, I guess, I don't know. If I lock these guys in, then they'll move over, and when these guys lock in, I can move them into here, and stop moving these guys. Okay, we're going to do some weird maneuvers here. I'm going to move these guys into here, and when they're locked in, this guy will move over. We can move these guys into here. This guy has until the 28th of March to be there, so we have plenty of time to just sit there and do nothing. This guy will get there on the 13th, but so will I. And I have tag priority, so they're going to be getting the -2 from terrain, while this guy lands in Cadiz. If everything goes according to plan, this guy might have just died, but whatever. Then we can actually stand here as a start. I'll just grab this next tech as well. Oh, and it looks like the knights have finally given up. That's good. So now I get to own Malta. And that stack is dead, but whatever. That's fine. At least he gets to live and come back another day. Alright, I'm just going to bring this guy over as well. Okay, I think I'm going to do the Doom stack. I'm just going to put everyone all at once onto here. And, oh, that's interesting. He actually is going to be going for that stack, which is kind of interesting. But we are able to fight it off. Just barely. We should be able to win, yeah. We have, like, technically double his morale right now, so I'm seeing a victory on that. Yeah, he has no morale left. There we go. Of course, we're going to barrage assaults very quickly to make sure that this works out. Very expensive assaults. But there we are, over here. Now we're going to have to move out of this area pretty quick. We don't want to get caught in any more mountains like that. That was extremely expensive to go through. A lot of manpower on that one. Also, of course, the capital's only going to be like a level 3 fort. Like, why wouldn't it be, right? Just AI things, I guess. Now, yeah, this overstacking is like a terrible idea, but we need to burn it down really quickly, and I need to try and deter them from attacking it immediately. So, by having a large enough stack, there's a pretty good chance of that working out. Okay, just gotta wait for this 42%. Not a bad chance of it working out. And then that'll be the capital, so that'll be the war goal as well. I'll take this infantry combat ability as well. Beautiful. That is the capital. We like to see that. So we can go and siege a little bit of this stuff over here. I'm just going to detach the mercs from each other for carpet sieging. We're going to hold enough of Spain so that we can get 10% war score. And with that 10% war score, you can bet I am going to be taking Gibraltar. Because that is the entire purpose. That's literally the only reason I came here. unironically, without joke. Okay, it also looks like Spain wants to pick a fight here, so that's okay. I'll do the tried and true ancient AI classic method of just reinforcing until they go away. Oh look, it works. So this is one of the bloodiest conflicts that's ever happened on this world now, and all for Gibraltar and maybe a little bit of extra land. All of that fighting for a crossing and 2 forts. Well, unless, of course, I can take more. I'm sure France is having a pretty big sigh of relief right about now, as Spain's gonna be out of commission for a little bit. I'm also gonna take Madrid, which is a massive center of industrialization here, so that'll be a lot of war score. And we took Valencia. That's a pretty good start as well. Every now and then some Spanish ships come in here to get killed, so that's nice. Okay, that's about as far as I'm willing to go. I'd like to use the last 2 years we have here to recuperate from such a war. So in this case, I will be taking, I think I'll be doing something along the lines of this peace deal. Alright, that looks good enough to me. So now we've gone ahead and captured the rightful British clay of Gibraltar here, which would end up giving us a couple of claims on some of the other islands inwards here. I don't think the AI is going to be able to accomplish anything with that, but I thought it would be nice to just finish up that mission anyway. Alright, there we are, lads. We finally managed to capture a little bit of land. The men will now be taking a trip back home. Ooh, our colonies are also starting to get a little bit rebellious. Well, for the interest of maybe having something interesting happen still, I'm not going to do anything about that. Ooh, and we can embrace industrialization, and because we're so stupid, filthy rich, it doesn't matter when we do this. So now we get extra tax and manpower. Okay, we have just one more left. I don't think we're in the state to fight a war against France. Could we really do that? I suppose we could try. I mean, yeah, sure, it's not like we have much else that we're doing right now. Oh, silly me, I completely forgot. It doesn't actually matter. The Iroquois are in the New World, so if they declare war on French Canada, that's not going to bring France in, even if they're the defender of the faith. Kind of didn't think about that. Alright, if there's anything left to do with our time, it's just to flex on the rest of the world with our stupid amount of money. So I might as well just build a couple of things. Alright, just a couple of months left on that one. I'm not sure if we'll have enough time to bring that last little troop back, but we'll at least send them on their course. Okay, and that's just about all the time we have left on Britain here. And there we go. That is time. So let's do a brief recap. What did we manage to get done on Britain here? Britain has already done most of the work for me, but we did manage to essentially revolutionize his economy. If we check his income, it sort of went from, let's see, so 1744 would have been right around here-ish, and now we're all the way up there. We already made a ludicrous amount of money before, but now we make an absolutely ridiculous amount of money. I think that's actually the most money we can get without conquering more, because we have goods produced, the trade efficiency, more trade efficiency, and trade steering. So unless Britain conquers this entire area and moves all of the trade here towards the English Channel, I don't think he's going to be getting that much more money. We've been sending pretty much everything we can in the right direction already, so I didn't have to touch that too much. Other than income, we managed to swap out one of his ideas for a slightly better one. I probably should swap expansion as well. I just don't know what I would change it to at this point, because he makes more than enough money. I've gotten him most of the land-based combat ideas. I don't think he's gonna want or need defensive. I could possibly go with like diplomatic or something, but it's not like we're engaging in much diplomacy here, other than war. And we don't need naval ideas because we're Britain. I mean, other than influence maybe for a bit of subject suppression, but I don't really see us needing that much else. And of course, the final and greatest accomplishment as Britain here is that we went ahead and took Gibraltar and a little bit of North Africa. It was probably the bloodiest conflict that this timeline's ever gonna see. We lost a lot more men than we should have because I made some pretty terrible decisions, I'll admit that. A lot of them were bad. But in the end, we had limited time and I did what we could with that. Coincidentally, this one nation took about as long to record as it usually takes for me to make 2 nations. So I think this one's actually just going to be its own standalone nation, because there were just so many events in this one 10-year time span that I don't think I would do it justice if I, trimmed it down to 10 minutes instead of gave it the full 20 that it might deserve. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this one nation playing as the arch enemy of practically the entire world. Somehow France got the economic hegemon. I'm not going to question that. It is what it is. Congrats, France. Maybe he'll be able to do something with it. I really don't know how this happened. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Quarbit signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. I'd like to take a second to thank all of the patrons we have for the month of February, starting with those we have in the General tier: Quiet Guy, Brennan Arsenault, Ben Greenhagen, Torvalved, and Dire Avenger. Those we have in the Prince tier: Snow Raven and Rockbox 2020. Those we have in the King tier: Chewy Shoot and Natsuki. In the Elector tier we have TFLJ Martis, and in the Conqueror of Worlds tier we have The Watcher. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you guys so much for choosing to financially support the channel. Really, I just can't thank you guys enough.